Alright, hello everyone. Now this video is in continuation with our objective of learning more reactions of hydrocarbons. And the topic of this video, which is acidity of alkynes, will help me in converting a smaller alkyne to a larger alkyne, will help me in identifying or purifying or separating a terminal alkyne from a mixture of hydrocarbons. So one way, when it's used in converting a smaller alkyne to a larger alkyne, it could be studied in the preparation of alkynes. It could also be studied in the properties of alkynes because it will come handy in identifying or separating alkynes from a mixture. The ideas learned about the acidity of terminal alkynes will also help me in questions involving the order of basicity of certain species. So several questions could be drafted upon the ideas which we are going to learn in this particular video, and very basic, very fundamental concepts, things which are taught in chemical bonding, hybridization. We are told more S character would mean more acidity. So certainly carbon which is sp or sp2 or sp3 with more S character, there is more acidity, and we can start on that note. We can talk about an sp carbon being more acidic than an sp2 carbon which is more acidic than an sp3 carbon. Remember, this is the order of percent S character as well as acidity. And if this happens to be the order of acidity, alkyne where this carbon is sp has to be more acidic than alkene where this carbon is sp2, which is more acidic than alkane, ethane. We are constantly told that a strong acid will have a weak conjugate base. We end up writing an acid and a conjugate base in this manner. Remember, if it loses H+, this is the corresponding conjugate base. This moving forward is Ha acting as an acid, losing H+, and this moving back is A minus acting as a base, catching H+. This is Bronsted-Lowry concept. An acid will lose H+, a base will take H+. So this is the conjugate base. And this is the basic principle of reversibility. Reversible reaction more driven forward is less driven backward, and vice versa. So if this is more acidic, then this is less basic. If the equilibrium is more driven forward, it's less driven backward. This is about acidity of this compound, and this is the basicity of the corresponding conjugate base. It's a very popular fact. A stronger acid will have a weaker conjugate base, and it's like a thumb rule. Every time you're asked to compare the basicities of species, you will always want to check for the acidity of the corresponding acids, and if this happens to be the order of the acidity, naturally the conjugate bases, and this has to be the order of their basicities. So every time you have to find the order of basicity, you will want to check for the acidity of the corresponding acid. If this is the order of acidity of hydrocarbons, the reverse is the order of basicity of the corresponding conjugate bases. I must have told you in the past, alkanes are like the weakest acids and alkyl groups are the strongest bases, followed by the alkynyl groups and the alkyl groups. We'll see that terminal alkyne, sp carbon, is going to be specifically acidic, and it's going to start behaving or displaying its acidic behavior in presence of a base. And that is why the topic acidity of terminal alkynes, and this will lead to certain reactions which can be used for increasing the number of carbon atoms in the chain. I repeat, converting a smaller alkyne to a larger alkyne, and for more processes involving separation, identification or purification of terminal alkynes. Several questions could be drafted upon these ideas. I can further populate this list. I want to deliberately bring more species into the discussion right now. You'll want to copy at your convenience. And suppose if I talk about a few more compounds, suppose I talk about the hydrides of second period. If I talk about the hydrides of second period, then halogen fluorine more than water, more than ammonia, more than methane or ethane, It's simple. This is basic electronegativity. Fluorine is the most electronegative element, followed by oxygen, then nitrogen, then carbon. A more electronegative element will obviously pull the bond more strongly, and the loss of H plus will be easier. So more electronegative, more acidic. More electronegative, more acidic. Now, if this is the order of acidity any day, the reverse will be the order of basicity. The reverse will be the order of basicity. I can say this is the order of basicity, and between nitrogen and carbon, nitrogen is more electronegative, so ammonia is considered more acidic, and CH3 minus is considered more basic. NH2 minus is less basic than CH3 minus. Now what happens is, because in triple bond the acidity is much higher, you will want to take note of this fact. Now, if I compare ammonia with a triple bonded carbon, now triple bonded carbon will be more acidic. You know, this will take a leap. This will be more acidic than ammonia. Then naturally sp2, then sp, ethane like methane. And because this takes a leap, because an sp carbon suddenly becomes more acidic, much more acidic, and this sp carbon happens to be more electronegative than nitrogen, it takes a leap. Still it's less than water though. Still it's less than water. So keep this in mind. Triple bonded carbon becomes specifically acidic such that it crosses NH bond. A triple bonded carbon hydrogen bond is more polar than NH bond. It's a very common question. You have to keep this in mind. This is more routine, this is more common. NH2 minus, CH3 minus, ammonia, NH bond more polar than CH bond, which is sp3. sp3, उससे ज़्यादा sp2, then sp will jump over ammonia, and this will given a set of species like OH minus, HC triple bond C minus, NH2 minus, CH2 double bond CH minus, and say CH3 CH2 minus, then this becomes the order of basicity. The order becomes a little awkward because you know this takes a jump. A sp hybridized carbon is more electronegative than nitrogen, and this bond is more polar than a nitrogen hydrogen bond. It's a very common question. And every time we have to compare the order of basicity. If this is the order of basicity, it has to come from the order of acidity first. So you'll have to compare acidity first. And only from the order of acidity, you can obtain the order of basicity, which certainly will be the reverse of the corresponding conjugate acid. This has come in different exams several times. I want you to take a note of this. And this certainly is a little different because sp carbon becomes specifically acidic. With more S character, acidity increases and terminal alkynes are going to exhibit, peculiar acidity. Peculiar acidity means they're going to right away start reacting with a base or a basic species. It also tells you that if this is more acidic than ammonia, then this can lose hydrogen to ammoniacal bases. This is going to be an important information. It's going to be an important information. Now I come to the acidity of these terminal alkynes. We will already see that they go acidic to the extent they can lose hydrogen to ammoniacal species. And any terminal alkyne, suppose with NaNH2, which is NH2 minus, can do this. It can lose its hydrogen to NH2 minus, forming RC triple bond C minus say Na plus. These are called alkynides. They can be taken as salts of, this could be like an acid-base reaction. This is losing hydrogen to NH2 minus and forming ammonia, because I have told you that this carbon becomes more acidic or more electronegative than nitrogen. So all these topics are interrelated. Terminal alkynes behaving acidic and losing hydrogen to ammoniacal solution is all because, even if you consider some reversibility here, this will move forward, because this CH is more acidic than this NH. This CH is more acidic than this NH. These alkynides with R prime Br can undergo a substitution reaction. Any halide R Br or RCl giving you RC triple bond Cr prime, and this is how the carbon atom can be lengthened up. You know, this is called step up. Every time you learn a process which involves increasing the number of carbon atoms in the chain, you call it a step up process. So this is how a smaller alkene can be converted to a larger alkyne. I'll give you a couple of examples very quickly. But before that, all of this has to be understood, that a terminal alkyne in presence of amine or sodamide can lose this hydrogen. It's an acid-base reaction. This could be the sodium salt of this corresponding acid. Like you have NaCl coming from HCl. This is Na plus alkynide coming from a terminal alkyne. And then I can give you some examples. Like if I do it with ethine, the smallest alkyne. If I do it with ethine, the smallest alkyne. Now ethine with NaNH2 giving me Hc triple bond C minus. Say I make it react with CS3Br. I make it react with CS3Br or CS3Cl. This negative knocking out Cl minus. And what I'll get is Hc triple bond CCH3. So from 2 carbon alkyne I'll get a 3 carbon alkyne. From 2 carbon alkyne I'll get a 3 carbon alkyne. Suppose I make it react with CH3 CH2Cl. If I make it react with CH3 CH2Cl or Br. So this is like Cl, CH2 CH3. Now naturally this CH2 will get added up. This is how it will happen. Cl minus will go. And it will give me CH3 CH2 C triple bond CH. So what I can get is Hc triple bond C CH2 CH3. So from ethine I can get propyne, I can get butane, and naturally if I make it react with, this is a chlorine, 1 2 3 carbon chain, then these 3 carbon atoms will get added up. And I get Hc triple bond C, CH2CH2CH3, CH2CH2CH3, which means I get 1 2 3 4 5 pentyne. So from ethine I can get propyne, I can get but1-ine, I can get pent1-ine, and then we can carry on. From this propyne, you know, I can add one more methyl or ethyl group here. I can play around with this, you know. From ethine, I can make all types of alkynes. From this propyne, I can add a methyl here and get but1-ine. Say if this is pent1-ine, I can treat it with NaNH2, and if I treat it with NaNH2, and suppose if this hydrogen is gone, now this negative, if I make it react with CH3Cl, then a methyl will add up here, and it will be 1 2 3 4 5 6. This will be 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3. I can get hex 1 2 3 4 5 6 hex 2-ine. So I can play around. We'll see in more details how I can convert this to larger alkynes. This also happens to be an alkyne where both hydrogen could be removed. So if I take 2 moles of NaNH2, if I take 2 moles of NaNH2, I'm going to rub it off. You want to copy this? at your convenience, and because it contains two such hydroelectrons, if I take 2 moles of NaNH2, this is the only one which will give me a dialkyl. I can get C triple bond C minus Na plus Na plus, and now this with 2 moles of CH3Cl, I can have a methyl added to the left and to the right. I can get CH3 C triple bond C CH3, which is but2 naturally with 2 moles of CH3 CH2Cl or Br. I can add a methyl to the left, to the right, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can get hex 3-ine. I can get hex 3-ine. To get symmetrical alkynes like but2 hex 3-ine, it's best to move with dialkylite. It's only about time we start visualizing these conversions. It's only about time you get used to bringing about these conversions. But all of this is possible because these hydrogen atoms are acidic. This is when you want to convert a smaller alkyne to a larger alkyne. This is when you want a smaller alkyne to become a larger alkyne. There are a couple of more reactions. Again, you will want to copy this at your convenience. There are a couple of more reactions. Which is a terminal alkyne with ammoniacal silver nitrate, RC triple bond CH, with ammoniacal silver nitrate, ATNO3, and it will lose this hydrogen and give you RC triple bond C minus Ag plus. It's more like a covalent bond. Silver alkylide, which is a grey silver precipitate, and with ammoniacal cuprous chloride, ammoniacal Cu2Cl2, it can give you RC triple bond CCu, copper alkylide, which is a red precipitate, copper tamba, red precipitate. It is a copper alkylide. You can call it a copper alkylide. This is a copper alkylide. You can call it a silver alkylide. But this will be given only by a terminal alkyne. You can have this precipitate removed, and then further treated with very strong acid. You can get back the alkyne. So this can be used in separation of alkyne from a mixture, where only the terminal alkyne will react, forming silver alkylide and copper alkylide. But this is when you are trying to separate, purify, or differentiate a terminal alkyne, because now you are getting a precipitate. You get a precipitate as a test. You get a precipitate to remove something, to separate something, to isolate something. But you don't have a precipitate when you want the process to carry on. Most of you should know sodium salts are completely soluble. So sodium alkynates were not precipitates. Sodium alkynate was made when you wanted the reaction to be carried on, when you wanted a smaller alkyne to form a bigger alkyne. So this is something which needs to be kept in mind. When you are converting a smaller alkyne to a larger alkyne, sodamide, NaNH2, sodium alkynide, and the process could be carried on. And this is when you have to identify a terminal alkyne. This is for test of terminal alkyne. This could be a test of terminal alkyne, because these alkynides could differentiate between, say, a 1-butene and 2-butene. This will help you in differentiating between a 1-pentyne and a 2-pentyne, because this will give this test positive, this will give this test positive, but non-terminal alkyne will not give this test. So when it's differentiation, when it's separation, isolation, you will want to get silver or copper alkynide. But when you have to increase the number of carbon atoms, then it's the sodium alkynide. Suppose you have to increase the number of carbon atoms. So basically I have told you about 3 reactions with NaNH2, sodium alkynide, which is used to increase the number of carbon atoms, and these when you have to do a differentiation or a testing job. Say I want to prepare pent2-ine. Suppose I want to convert ethyne to pent-2-ine, and this is what I have to keep in mind. I have to increase 2 carbons from left and 1 carbon from right. I have to increase 2 carbons from left and 1 carbon from right. Suppose I take NaNH2, because I don't want to precipitate. So I get C minus and I take CH3CH2Cl. I take CH3CH2Cl. So 2 carbon here will give me CH3, CH2, C triple bond CH. Or what I can do is, I can take NaNH2 and CH3Cl. Suppose CH3 has to be right. I get Hc triple bond CCH3. So I have got a butane, I have got a pentyne. Now I can convert this to this. I can convert this to this by adding a methyl to the right. So what I can do now is, I can treat this with NaNH2 and CH3Cl. So the CH3 will come here. CH3, CH triple bond C, CH2, CH3. It will become pent-2-ine. Or I can treat this with NaNH2 and CH3, CH2Cl, which will make this negative and bring 2 carbon here. CH3, CH2, C triple bond C, CH3. Pent-2-ine. So eventually what we will learn in future is, when you have to increase this skeleton to this skeleton, लेफ्ट में 2 बढ़ाना है, राइट में 1 बढ़ाना है, लेफ्ट में 2 बढ़ाना, राइट में 1 बढ़ाना है, तो या तो एक तरफ लेफ्ट में 2 बढ़ा के फिर एक राइट में बढ़ा सकते हो, या फिर पहले एक मिथाइल बढ़ा करके फिर 2 इथाइल लगा सकते हो. This way or that way you will get pent-2-ine. I told you for symmetrical alkyne the best way is to work with dialkylides, which is C minus at both ends, and trust me, this is going to help you in several types of questions which involve conversions, or I repeat, preparation or separation or differentiation of alkynes. We are going to take up some questions based on this in our next class. All your doubts, queries will be answered there. This much for the time being. Thank you so much.